Hello, Jen here, and I have a guest with me for this voiceover. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
I have my niece Lila with me. We are at the cottage in Ontario, and I am catching up on some voiceovers, and I have an off-the-board layout for you. So I actually did make this layout for the 30 days of Off the Board in July, and I just ran out of time to be able to get it up on my channel, so I'm bringing it to you guys as a little bonus or a little late video. So you saw me show you the inspiration piece at the beginning of the video. Did you see it, Lila? The butterflies right here?
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, so what I decided to do is kind of take that idea of the punch out of the butterfly, and I went into my punches and found a hexagon, and so I punched out a bunch of hexagons at the top and the bottom of a white piece of cardstock, and then I'm going to save the punches, and I'll use both the negative and the positive space. And I'm still working with my travel pictures from 2017, so that's a picture that you see me using there. We were in Alma, New Brunswick, posing with some pirates, as you do. And the paper I'm using is from the Tommy collection from Close to My Heart. It's got that really cool navigation kind of sailing theme to it. So I love this map print. And I thought that worked really good for the pirates. And then, so I've backed my photo with it, and now I'm just going to back my photo a couple more times. I'm pulling out that map print from Wild Whisper because, again, to me, that looks exactly like a pirate's map. The way it's kind of crinkled and the way it's on an angle, but it also kind of reminds me a little bit of sails on like an old pirate ship. So I've been trying so hard to get it used up with this, all these pirate photos from when we were in the Maritimes. So I use it as a mat to get the color in, and then I will bring in the maps again as embellishments. So I have that navy blue mat, and then I have the yellow, which is the back of the navy blue paper. And then here kind of brings in just a little touch of those two greens. I think one's kind of more like a mint and one's kind of more like a teal. Then I have this piece of paper, and I'm not sure where I got it. I know it was probably just like the bulk pick paper that you can get, but I don't know if I got it from Michael's or if I got it from Joann's or maybe from one of the stores at the Great Canadian Scrapbook Carnival, but it has these little repeating, one of them is like the Pirate's Code, I think, and then another one is a wanted, I think it might be a wanted sign for Captain Jack, and so I thought it would be fun just to maybe put this on there, but I wanted to rough it up a little bit and kind of age it a little bit. So I ripped the edges, and now I'm just putting a couple little rips in the actual piece itself. And the edges are too white, so I'm going to go ahead and ink them. I decided to go with the espresso. It's kind of that dark brown. And then antique linen over top, and the antique linen, it doesn't really give it any color, it just kind of covered up any of those little white spots that were really standing out, and I kind of scuffed up inside that little, what do you call it, I don't know, little sign as well, so it just looks kind of old and dirty and antique. And now for the other embellishments, I'm going to go with this map right here, and I'm just going to keep a little bit of a yellow border because I have that yellow behind my photo. And then I'm also going to cut out the compass. That actually just worked out perfect, that the map and the compass were right beside each other. So this brings in some more of that green. So those are kind of my primary colors, is the yellow and the green and the navy blue. And then I do decide eventually to bring in a couple pops of red as well. So as I was putting all of that together, I still didn't really know what I was going to do to fill in the space where the hexagons are, because obviously in the inspiration piece on a card, you could leave it as a little kind of peek through cutout, and then you can maybe see something that's on the inside of the card, or you could cover it up with some vellum. But when you're doing the layout, you need to have something covering those holes up, or you're going to see the layout that's in behind. Or I mean, maybe you could, if you wanted to leave them open and not put anything there, you could always do another layout directly on the back of this one, and then kind of have the hexagons peeking through on both sides. But until I decided, I went ahead and started putting all of this together. So here's where I'm bringing in some more of that white, and this is kind of why I didn't want the white edges around that sign either. I knew I wanted to bring these white hexagons in, and I knew it would have just blended in too much. So there is kind of how I used both sides, the punched out shape and then also the negative space, or the hole where it was left. Then I'm going to go ahead and pop up all of these just a little bit using some foam squares, just to kind of give a little dimension, a little bit of interest, because I really am not going to bring a ton of other embellishments into this section. I want to highlight the fact that you have the punched hexagons, and then you also have the open space where the hexagons were. So I leave the inside pretty simple. What's been your favorite part of our trip so far, Lila?
My favorite part?
Yep.
Maybe I'm at Ottawa.
Oh, going to Ottawa.
Yeah, I like the Ottawa.
We took the kids downtown Ottawa to visit the Parliament buildings and all that kind of stuff, and have beaver tails, and it was kind of strange that it was so empty, but in a way kind of nice when it's your own hometown but you are playing tourist, that there's no lineups and there's none of that stuff. So it was kind of interesting. So you can see here I'm just backing a couple of my hexagons with paper. I have the matte paper again, and I tried to have different portions of the maps showing in each of the hexagons. And then I used some of the scraps of the blue paper where the branding strip was. So there's little kind of peaks of yellow and red and blue and white in some of those hexagons too. And then I decided I wanted to put sequins in the other ones. So I've done this before. I have these self-laminating, they're meant for cards, and in Alberta we still have paper health cards, so a lot of people use them to laminate their health cards, but you could laminate business cards or whatever you want to do. So it's only the size of a little business card, just slightly bigger than that. And one side is a thicker plastic, and then the other side is super, super sticky. And so I tried this. It's probably been, it might have been 2 years ago now. I tried it with sequins, and it worked out really, really well to hold in some sequins and make a little shaker pocket that wasn't really thick and didn't require any foam to kind of build up a gap. So these sequins don't shake around really, they don't move around. But they're kind of held in place, and they give that same illusion of a shaker pocket. So you saw what I did there is basically I cut the little card in half. I only needed half for each of these little hexagons. And then there's my little kind of cluster of hexagon, or a cluster of sequins. And it's just held in place really nice. So I'll do it one more time here so you can see. So this is the sticky side. And obviously this opens, when you open it, it kind of hinges open because it's not meant to be cut apart. But when I cut it apart, I have two completely separate pieces, and that still worked out fine. So I just took the sticky side, stuck it over top of one of the hexagons, so I kind of knew the area that I needed to cover, and I didn't waste too many sequins, and then I got all the little kind of gaps covered up really well. And I'm here just kind of sticking them all down. And then you take the harder plastic part, stick it on top, and then just go around it with your fingers to really seal it in there really, really well. And then one side kind of, you see more of the backs of all of the sequins, and the other side you see more of the front, or like the concave part of the sequins, so you can kind of decide which way you want your sequins to go. And then I just glued it onto the back with some ATG. So really, really simple way to make a shaker pocket if you don't have a lot of time, or if you don't have a lot of space. This works really good for traveler's notebooks or that type of thing if you're trying to keep the dimension down. But yeah, you still get that kind of fun effect of having the shaker pocket. So those worked out really good. And then here you can see I brought in some red as that extra color. And the pirates have a little bit of red in them anyways, so I thought it was kind of nice to just bring in a little pop of something else. And with that leftover piece of branding strip, I decided to just put that at the top and the bottom of my picture, so it kind of looks like another layer to the picture. Have you ever seen a pirate, Lila?
I've seen shows, but
You've seen pirate shows?
yeah, but not like a statue or anything.
No?
No.
Well, it's really cool when you go down the coast. So that Alma's on the Bay of Fundy, so you see lots of lobster fishermen and stuff like that. You can get fresh lobster, and then they have pirates all over, so it's kind of a cool place to hang out. So just to give a little bit of extra detail, because I'm not adding a ton of embellishments, I'm going around a few of my hexagons. So just the sequined hexagons up top, and just a couple of the punched out pieces on the bottom with a black Sharpie pen, and then just outlining the white part of the layout here, just like that. And a tiny bit of journaling. I didn't need to add too much because I have other pictures from Alma, obviously, so just a little journaling about the pirates. And I'm finishing it all off with just a few little, they're not even real enamel dots, they're those fake enamel dots that I have from Dollar Tree, and they have a little bit of glitter in them, and so I thought that they might look kind of cool, again, because I'm not adding a ton of extra embellishments, that every little embellishment that I pick, I really want it to be able to kind of stand out and be really interesting. And then I added a title. I struggled with a title. What's new for me, right? But I added the title Ahoy, Mateys. What would you put for your title? Perfect. All right, and that is it for my layout. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, you can leave them for me down below, and all the links are down below as well, so you can see my inspiration piece and all the lovely scrappers that played along last month. Until next time, happy scrapping. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.